This telecast is copyrighted by the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Earlier today, the Indiana High School Athletic Association recognized a champion of education from each of the participating schools. The 4A recipients were Dawn Strasser from East Noble and Mark Blockley from New Palestine. The Champion of Education Award is presented by Ivy Tech Community College and recognizes teachers who go above and beyond to challenge students who reach their full potential and help them become the best version of themselves. Congratulations to two very deserving educators, and what a great program by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Let's take a look at the Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics first half highlights. Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA. Good start for East Noble after denying New Pal on their first possession, Coach.
And great job by Logan Hatton of getting behind the back end of the New Pal defense, but New Pal was quick to strike back here with big-time plays from their offense.
Austin McMahon with the pitch and catch of the touchdown run there. That is his third TD of the season, 13th TD of the season. And then Mr. Grounded Pounded, Josh Raines went to work. He left his feet, got into the end zone, and then a big answer toward the end of the half by East Noble.
Boy, what a throw by Biddle. What a great catch. That was not easy there, but great answer.
Here are the halftime stats powered by Max Prep. We talked about time of possession and how they closed that gap a little bit. East Noble did toward the end of the half.
They did a nice job, but sometimes the stats are not indicative of this game, but it is so far, because really in almost every case you're looking at New Palestine doubling up what East Noble has done, and that's why they're up by 2 scores.
That rushing stat is just absolutely at 171-2, but it's 2 fairly long pass plays, including an 80-yard run. The benefit there, 80-yard touchdown pass, we should say, the difference in allowing them to gain the margin through passing. And that's not really what Alex Stewart likes to do.
No, but he's smart to take what New Pal's giving him, and he knows he gets the ball start the third quarter. That is a big deal here. Only down 2 scores. They haven't played their best half here, but the good news is there's another half to be played. And
the biggest news for them, I think, is the fact that they get the football to start this half.
If they can come out and somehow put points on the board, this is a whole different ball game than what we've got right now.
We have one more game to come tonight. We think it will be a memorable one. Westfield and Brownsburg in the 6A championship. And that is a rematch from earlier this season. And I think that both teams were kind of hopeful that they would be able to represent their conference in this championship game tonight.
It's excited for Josh Miracle, first year as a head coach, to bring Westfield here. But John Hart leading his 3rd different team to the state finals. Folks, that's almost impossible. Should be a whale of a football game.
And, of course, tomorrow we have 3 games. It'll be the 1A game, the 3A game, and the 5A game. And, of course, you can catch all of the action right here on IHSAATV.org and the IHSAA TV app. And we're excited about all of them, but you and I excited about that 3A game. Promises to be an interesting matchup between 2 outstanding coaches and 2 outstanding football teams.
Just great programs. Love what Heritage Hills has done getting back here again. And then what can you say about Kyle Lindsay and Lures? He's carried on a family tradition of winning, and it's his program, and he's done it his way.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation about it because he played there, and Dad cast a long shadow and said, when did people start seeing you as Coach Lindsay instead of Kyle? He said, well, it wasn't my first year when I went 0-9. I'll tell you that much. So,
well, the good news is he had a great foundation, great person to lean on in Matt, his dad, and he's found his footing and done a phenomenal job and made it his program now.
And North Judson's happy to be back here. They square off against Providence. North Judson had some great teams years ago under the legendary Russ Radke.
Well, Russ Radke did a great job of putting them on the map, and that should be a very fun and entertaining 1A game.
And a second-generation coach, Kyle Enright here representing Decatur Central, taking on Warsaw. Let's go downstairs, check in with Kelsey Casper.
Well, Coach, you started this game with that 80-yard touchdown pass, but you could argue that touchdown right before half was even bigger. How important was it to find the end zone before halftime?
Yeah, that momentum shift was huge for us. We're in a position now where we get the ball to start the half and can make this a competitive game.
Yeah, down at halftime, but it's still manageable, and you mentioned you get the ball. What was the message to this group at halftime?
Yeah, we got to go win the second half. We're trailing, but we've played well at times. We just got to put it all together all the time and let's go win the second half and be state champions.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see if they win the second half when we come back. Third quarter action to come for a title game. It's all presented by the Indianapolis Colts, and it's on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network.
Down 3.
Casper patrolling the sidelines. Slant shot. Mark James just about the 50-yard line of the first level here. Sweet level with Lucas Oil Stadium as we get ready for second half action.
Should be a great second half. We're anxious to see what the adjustments have been for Alex Stewart. They've got to find a way to have some kind of running game here. The passing game has been fantastic. Explosive plays for them offensively. But you got to find a way to have a little more balance and run the football. That's what they do well.
Hey, by the way, congratulations to Justin Shippey, Jeff Lytle, Trent Long, Ronnie Branch, and Keith Hoyt. Waited far too late to mention those guys, our outstanding officiating crew here, and it's an honor and a privilege for all of those folks to be here throughout the course of this weekend. It's well earned. We talked to Andy Simpson before the ball game today. He's got our 3A game tomorrow, and they're all just honored and privileged to be here.
It's a big deal. These guys have worked their tails off to get here, and they do a great job. I think this game has been incredibly officiated really well, and anxious here to just see how exciting this second half can be.
Now we'll see what Jake Wells is able to do in terms of kicking the ball away for New Pal. And again, a big series for East Noble. You heard Alex Stewart talk about it. Have a good first drive, a good first series, and hopefully go and win the football game. And we have offsides flagged down, and they'll have to back up 5 and kick it again, which will give them perhaps a chance to return it.
And that's something that if I'm East Noble now I want to try to get that return. Look for the special teams coach to be looking here and maybe adjust on how they want to return this. Probably bring it to their sideline. And that's a big deal, folks, because starting from your 20 is difficult to go 80 yards at any level to score points. Now you got a chance to create a big play in special teams and maybe even flip the field on where you start at.
Looks like Hatton and maybe Tresh are deep to receive.
I'd kick away from Hatton. He's proven he can run.
He can go get it. They are going his way. They drive him back inside the 5, and he almost stumbles down, comes straight upfield, now cuts it left, finds a little bit of a seam, and a decent return across the 25 to about the 28-yard line.
Great job by Hatton. To your point, he almost falls down, would have given them the ball about the 8-yard line. So great job of getting him out almost to the 30.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if they stay with the plan that bought them some time and made them a bit more effective offensively. And we're talking about moving that pocket around.
If you move the pocket, it creates different angles for pressure from New Pal. I like that. I think Biddle is an athletic, and he throws really well on the run.
Not a lot of guys 4 of 11 for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a strange stat line for sure. They throw it underneath, and it's incomplete.
Desmond Palmer, what a great job of breaking on the ball and striking down.
I think that Biddle would be told to get rid of that football just a little bit quicker. When he makes that break, the ball's got to be halfway there.
It's one of those things, again, when you play at this level and you're playing in a state championship, guys are better, and they're not open as long, and you got to anticipate it a little bit better.
I would not call, by and large, what they play as soft coverage. I mean, their corners are up, and they're challenging them. So after having some success throwing the football, they decide to try to run the football the right side, and they do so with Dallas Plattner. Now, Plattner gets in sometimes. We talked about the Thunder and Lightning from New Pal's perspective. They do kind of the same thing, Coach, because Plattner's got almost 800 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns on the season.
And he does, and right now New Pal's saying run the football because we're going to play press and not let you get off the ball here. And so look for, even though it's 3rd and long here, look for some kind of quick hitters, maybe even a trap or a quarterback run. It's going to be difficult to throw against this coverage.
Hatton's got single coverage, and he'll get it now that a motion man comes from left to right. They're looking that way. They're looking up the seam, and he overthrew his intended target, who found a little soft spot in that zone, and that was Landon Swagger.
Landon was open again. The ball had to go over a linebacker in front of safety. Biddle was just a little high on here. But again, he's there. I like what they did. I like the play selection. I still think they're doing a good job of taking what New Pal's given them, and I love coming in motion to kind of disrupt that coverage.
So Robinson will drop deep to hopefully receive the punt, have an opportunity to return it as Biddle drops back around the 20. Some pressure comes, but he gets it away. It's a low kick, and he gets a friendly roll and then some. That ball is going to roll inside the 15-yard line and roll dead at the 11. That is an incredible punt.
That's a great job by Biddle, just an athlete, just showing that he can do more than just play quarterback. He's a great defensive player for him, punter. I just like his athleticism. Just a junior, 6 foot 170. He is an athlete, folks.
Talked a little bit to Alex Stewart this week about keeping this week as normal as possible. They kept their practice plans fairly normal, and they've done their best to limit the outside distractions. But he also told the kids, embrace it and enjoy it. It's a special week, and it's special for the community. He said you can't make it a normal week because it's not a normal week.
Well, Mark, you talk about you've been here as an assistant coach. It's a blur. It goes so fast. You want to enjoy it, but you also have to play well. 1st
and 10 for New Pal. They tried Josh Raines right side, and not much doing there as guess who? Dylan Crail stepped up to make the stop.
Dylan Crail is making an impact here. He's doing a great job on defense, not getting going offensively, but not letting that affect him playing well on defense.
No one committed yet, but several small college offers, and he may actually see the offers start to come a little bit more frequently for him with the numbers he's been able to put up.
Well, anytime you play against great competition like New Pal, it helps you in recruiting, and that's a big deal.
They were able to squeeze about 2.5, maybe 3 yards out of that carry, and it looks like they'll give it to Davis this time. And again, they do a pretty good job of bottling him up. The officials decide to let the play itself out, and as a result, they push themselves across the 20 to about the 22, good enough for a first down.
I know Ryan Robertson's going to tell his East Noble defense, start punching at the ball, especially when Davis has it. You've got him stood up. Now punch at that ball and try and cause a turnover.
I give them a lot of credit, that offensive line, because most of the time they're getting to the second level and they're getting a hat on Crail.
When you can get a hat on the linebackers and control that front, you're going to run the football, which is why they've done so well here in the first half.
Fresh set of downs for New Pal. Davis keeps it. He wanted to run left, but didn't see any opening there and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe squeezed a yard out of it.
Truth be known, I think it may have been a broken play here. As you watch here, there's nothing there. But great job of ad-libbing by the junior Davis.
It's almost like he expected somebody to his outside hip and to run an option, and off that play action to the fullback, there was nobody there, as you said.
The good news is he went forward and didn't try to outrun the defense north-south. Is always a great answer.
Rain set up behind him on second down. This time they'll try Oglesby to the left side, and he's a pretty good open field runner, and that's a pretty good open field tackle. Riley Biddle stepped up to make that stop. So not only is he an efficient quarterback, he's a very efficient defender as well.
He does a great job and comes from a great distance there to be able to get Oglesby off his feet. I know a guy in Topsail, North Carolina, Matt Cann, a former a New Pal Dragon here, quarterback, is thrilled to be seeing all this jet sweep. He loves that kind of offense.
A 3rd down and 5 for New Pal, a big down for both ball clubs, quite frankly. New Pal trying to convert on 3rd down.
Have to try to create some pressure here if you can, because you're in a light box, so look for a run.
That 3-man front.
Yeah.
They'll try the left side. Raines cuts it back, has first down yardage and then some across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Once you feel like you got a beat on what Davis is doing, you got to kind of shift back and help your run defense here. It's just a light box. They're showing it too early. You got to show it later. I know I keep saying that, but you're making it too easy on New Pal.
On 3rd down and 5, you're starting by blocking 5 on 3.
Yeah, exactly. And so just pure numbers, New Pal has an advantage. And they're doing the same thing. I mean, again, I love what Rod Robertson's doing on defense, but it's a 5-man box. You need to find a way to get a 6th and 7th guy there.
1st and 10. Pass out in the flat. They were playing awfully soft coverage, and McMahon was able to make them pay for that. He gets it across the 45-yard line up to about the 47.
It's always fun to see the different adjustments. New Pal's adjustment on defense is press, and in this case here, East Noble's trying to keep them in front of them and no big plays.
Trish was able to run him out of bounds finally, but not until he got across the 45. Nose of the football just shy of the 47. Clock continues to run. Got out of bounds to stop it at 7.5, we should say. Third quarter, 28-13. Nothing doing for East Noble on their first possession. New Pal trying to get on the board and extend their lead. They will run Josh Raines. He breaks one tackle, then another. Running room to the 40, the 35, the 30. Gets a great downfield block and carries it all the way down inside the 15-yard line to about the 10.
Watch Eli Wasson here, folks. And again, watch the downfield blocking. You talked about it, Mark, here. He's 50, 60 yards downfield. Great job up front, hat on hat, then he makes somebody miss, makes middle with miss, and then look at that. Look at the effort there by Watts. Folks, that's not normal. That's great coaching, and that's great technique. Super job there by the Dragons.
Oh, you tell them over and over again, block to the whistle, but getting them to buy into it to that extent is a rarity, and that speaks well to their staff and how well they prepared their kids.
That's why you have that explosive play there, because you're able to run them off and create a lot of space there for your great back and Raines.
Football actually from the 12. Robeson comes in motion, and instead they will go to their scat back. That's Jacobia, who finds some running room around the right side. He gets inside the 5-yard line to about the 4 before he's stacked up by a host of East Noble Knights.
Once again, great job, and now you're making. I love what Jacobia does. His jump cuts are great because he sets you up. He's inside, then jump cuts out and out races you to the perimeter. And with that perimeter blocking they've got on the secondary, they've got a chance to make big plays.
Again, that kid's a junior. 63 carries and 455 yards and 10 touchdowns. And again, he would be an every down back for almost any other high school football team.
He is put together. He plays great on both sides of the football. And to your point, he's just a junior.
Gain of 8, second down at about 2. Motion. Jacobia. Ooh. Looks like they're going to mark him just short.
Yep. Knee was down. Great job here, but Jacobia again running north and south. Let's see how he does it. Great job up front. Yep, the knees down. Boy, these officials, they've done a great job all game.
Logan Hatton met him in the hole and denied him from getting into the end zone, but it's first and goal to go from just inside the 1.
So East Noble's going to go low, and Raines is going to go over the top.
Davis takes the snap and keeps it. Dives into the end zone, touchdown. And that was, as you said, what you expected was the dive to the right side, and the play action off of that is what opened up, made a clear path to the end zone for Jacob Davis.
And Kyle's talked all week long about how the maturity of Davis and how his ability to run the ball has changed this offense completely, and you saw it there.
Jumps the advantage up to 34-13 to the 5:39 mark of period number 3. Wells to attempt the point after. And again, the holder is Davis. Wetzel, the long snap. Ball is down. The kick is up, but it's good. 5:39 mark of period number 3. It is all New Pal in the 4A title game here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Dwight Freeney.
The High School Athletic Association would also like to thank the following sponsors: the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, proud to support Indiana's game at all levels. By Connecticut, life is better with Connecticut water. Also thanks to Herb Jones of Varsity Achievement brand. Sharp Business Systems, saluting great athletes and even better students. Dellin Automotive, discover the Dellin difference. And Sport Graphics, turning our creativity and experience into your results. Creativity and experience by the New Pal Dragons has taken them to a 35-13 lead with 5:39 to go in period number 3.
Well, now you're Alex Stewart. You got to find a way to still creatively run the football, whether it be by screens, by something other than just dropping back, because you don't want to get it to be one-dimensional against this Dragon defense.
Good boot, and good news for them. It looks like Hatton's going to get an opportunity at a return. He finds a little seam, and one would-be tackler was able to close the deal and keep him from getting to the end zone. Got to give a lot of credit to Cameron Rollison, who has been all over the field for them on both sides of the football today.
Cameron has been phenomenal. He really has, in all three phases, has done a great job. You talked about cramping a little bit in the first quarter, and Logan Hatton comes up a little gimpy. I think he's getting a little cramp here. Hopefully he can work it out.
So, again, if you're East Noble, let's face it, I mean, you've got to keep playing. And you've had some bright spots offensively. But, again, this is one of those points where you really need to put together a good sustained drive, a little mix of the run and the pass.
You need to stack some plays here, win first down, don't get behind the chains. When those things happen, great success follows.
Alex Stewart will be the first to tell you that if you get into the third quarter and you've got 6 yards rushing, even when that is the thing, especially when that's the thing that you like to do is run the football, you're going to have a hard time winning the game.
And that's exactly it. And you got to start with blocking Michael Thacker. He's the all-time leader in tackles for loss, sacks, tackles at New Pal, and he's causing havoc here for this offense for East Noble.
Don't you love it when they make you look smart by picking him as a player to watch, and he's able to follow it up like that?
Kyle Ralph really feels like he's a Mr. Football candidate, and he is certainly proving that today.
Well, I've done this with you a long time, partner, and you rarely picked anybody on defense as a player to watch, that's for sure. And lots of pressure coming from the defensive front of the New Pal Dragons, and Michael Thacker does it on cue and results in an errant pass, brings it up 3rd and 10.
Great leverage, gets outside, plays with his hands, and gets there in time. Thacker, again, he's a next level player. He is really, really talented.
He might have a few bats in the belfry, as you say, because, I mean, the head hit the ground pretty hard, but looks like he's okay. Dropping back, threads the needle, and a great throw and catch. And again, he does an amazing job of being able to throw it over the linebackers and inside the safeties. And he and Mr. Landon Swagger are on the same page today.
Folks, I'm telling you, when the ball is deflected or there's hands are going across us, it's one of the hardest things for a receiver to catch. And Swagger makes it look easy. Great throw, great catch. The drive stays alive. Great job by the Knights.
Josh Raines, the middle linebacker, dropped deep in coverage. He banged the helmet in frustration. Riley Biddle has not run it very often. That might be one of the reasons why. Because you're not going to get outside on them, and a flag is down.
Yeah, again, you're reaching, trying to get outside. I think you're going to see Brownfield 75 getting held. It's hard to get on the edge. New Pal does a great job of keeping their outside arm free, and they just kept reaching and grabbing. And you can do that as long as you stay inside the framework of your body, but the hands got outside, and there was a pull.
And it looks like there might be a New Pal defender down on the field across the way. The training staff is on their way over there now. Kyle Ralph is going over to check on his player. Hey, don't forget, we think we got a good one coming up after this one. It'll be the 6A championship game, Westfield against Brownsburg. And how thrilled must that conference be with all the talk about the MIC and all the vaunted MIC. Now here they are with 2 representatives from the same conference in the state championship game.
Told people from day one, if you want
offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. The MIC has won every 6A state championship game, and now you've got a chance where 2 from the ACC are here. Thrilled to death. You've got 2 great programs, 2 storied programs, 2 great coaches, and 2 really good teams.
We did make mention we got kind of cut off because we had other business to do. I know that we're thrilled for Warsaw, but we're also thrilled for our friend Kyle Enright. Of course, his dad, a legendary coach, and a special time for Kyle to be able to bring his alma mater back here at Gator Central.
Back-to-back years, Kyle's done an incredible job. Has a great help from Justin Dixon, his great athletic director, but we're really happy for Kyle Enright and his family.
Biddle with play action, looking to throw it again. He's going to air it out up the left side, and it's intended up the left side. A lot of contact over there. It was intended for Aiden Lee.
Folks, I'm a receiver by heart, but I love the fact that these officials are letting them play. They've done it all game long. It's okay. You got to have a chance at it more than anything else. And again, keep him in bounds, and I think the play has a chance to be successful.
Correct that. Jordan Borders the intended target on that. He's got 8 receptions, 200 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And bring that back a little more towards the hash mark. But I think the chagrin came to the fact that the defender never turned around and looked for the football. But again, I think it was a good no call. Intended for Logan Hatton, and they had it pretty well covered up. I think the message was clear to the secondary at halftime. Don't let anybody get behind you.
Well, play the coverage that is called. Don't peek and try to be too big a hero here. Now you're throwing into double and triple coverage. I like the idea that you're trying to throw over the top, but I would now move Biddle and try to give him a chance to try to make this a fourth and manageable if you decide to go for it.
Lissad was back there among those defensively in the coverage, and Caden Jacobia was there as well. So third down and a whole big bunch, 20 to be specific for East Noble.
Screen.
Biddle sets up the screen, and again, pressure was coming. Abe Walling, a 6'3", 241-pound junior nose tackle, pretty much got a free release to the football, and he got there a little faster, I think, than Riley Biddle would have liked.
What I love there was Brownfield and the defensive front. They didn't bite on it. They read screen. That means you're schooled on it. They understood it. They also knew it was third and forever, and they're probably not going to throw it downfield. So great job by that front.
If you get no resistance, something's up.
Something's happening there. But again, you're looking at a Dylan Crail that has been phenomenal for East Noble all game long. They've really bottled him up all game.
Pressure comes towards Biddle. He's able to get it away. He's done a nice job punting the football. He's got the benefit of some pretty good bounces, but not the beneficiary that time. But he didn't really flip the field. But again, gives the football back to New Pal with 3:55 left in the quarter, and the football going to be laid to rest at the 30-yard line.
Folks, this New Palestine offense has been great all game long. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. Look for them to just keep reading the box of players inside of the tackle area. And when you see 5, they're going to run it. And when you see 6 or more, they're going to throw it.
Well, I mean, we asked Alex Stewart for a scouting report, and he goes, well, I mean, there are no weaknesses there. They're a very well-coached team. They're very well prepared. And let's face it, this was not a rebuild for Kyle Ralph, but I think we could agree he has certainly elevated it.
He certainly has, and when you have this many weapons, it's hard to take them all away.
Rollison comes in motion. They'll decide to go to Raines instead, and he rumbles forward for a gain of about 9 yards across the 35 to the 39.
And, folks, why do you run that motion across? Because it freezes the edge rushers. And so now they've got to wait and make sure the ball's not being handed off. And because they have to wait, they can't run to the football. And it makes it easier for your linemen to get up to that second level. And they're killing this East Noble defense with that play.
Raines has rushed for 135 yards on the day, but Jacobia, who's in there for him, is at 11 carries and 65 yards.
You talk about this, Mark. They're a great change of pace back. They both are great players, and they're both having really good games.
And he's going to get a shot right here. Finds a little seam. What a great cut to the 50, the 45, the 40. Cuts it back to the left hash mark. He gets to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. How about that?
You talked about it, Mark. He can start for a lot of programs in the state of Indiana, and he has chosen to stay here and do this and play on a team like this. Looks like we might have a little celebration penalty in the end zone, but it doesn't take away the 6 points. 61-yard scamper, and look at this blocking. Watch this cut here. This cut right here just kind of runs away from it here. Great job, 61 yards. Huge answer again by this New Pal offense.
He ran about 80 yards in total, but gets credit for 61.
Yeah, again, Jacoby, you are a phenomenal player. Act like you've been there before, and it's one of those things because you're going to be there again.
I don't think he was alone in the celebration.
He wasn't, but he can't spin the ball and do that.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Now, I for one, I've seen this call throughout the course of the season, and I got to tell you, mixed feelings about it. You want him to celebrate, but you don't want him to show anybody up in the process.
Exactly.
And I like the fact that this is a point of emphasis for the Indiana High School Athletic Association, but the kids got to learn. Just because they see it at the NFL and the collegiate level doesn't mean that it's going to fly here.
You didn't do that by yourself. Go celebrate with the other 10 offensive players on your team and quit worried about spinning the ball and go celebrate because, again, that's why you're in the end zone. You are a great player, but you did not do it alone.
So that'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. We'll retry.
Back them up 5. The good news for New Pal, it gives them a rather comfortable 41-13 lead. Good look at Kyle Ralph, as we mentioned, 13-0 this season, 12th season, 140-14, 6th appearance.
has done it 5 in the last 11 years.
Yeah.
He really has done a fantastic job of changing every aspect of this New Pal program.
Wells, as we mentioned, was 62 of 68 coming in. Makes it a 42-13 bowl game, and we look at the impressive scamper one more time by Caden Jacobia. Get the New Pal Dragons a pay dirt closer to the 4A championship.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just
A record-smashing day back in 2014 when New Pal rolled over New Prairie, 77-42 for the 4A title. The Dragons rewrote the record book, setting new marks for points scored, most touchdowns, most rushing yards, most passing touchdowns, and most total offensive yards among the many new records. And they are putting points on the board today.
The neat thing that I love about watching that game and now watching them today is Kyle Ralph, how he's evolved to really play to the strength of his kids. And it's still very, the base and the core are still the same. But what he emphasizes is tweaked by the players he has.
So, got to keep playing.
Yep.
Possession by possession. And really, we have not seen a long, sustained drive out of a football team that typically likes long, sustained drives.
And that really starts up front. I think that's the one thing that's probably frustrating Alex Stewart right now is they're getting beat up front. And when that happens, it really causes your whole offense to kind of bog down, and you look for chunk plays, and it's hard to do against this defense.
The kick by Wells is a short kick, and it's an opportunity for a good return by Aiden Lay, and good field position for East Noble. Their head coach, Alex Stewart. Here's the story. Wife was 9 months pregnant when I was hired at East Noble. She gave birth to our third little girl the week after I was hired. When the job opened, we had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and she was 9 months pregnant. A lot of life stressors happening already, but she was extremely supportive about him taking the job and moving the family 2 hours away. He calls her support and sacrifice throughout the process what made it possible for him to take a job at East Noble.
Hats off to all the ladies out there that are the wives and chose to be wives of coaches. It's not always the funnest job in the world, but we couldn't do it without you, ladies.
Trying to get the defense to shift away, and they went to Dallas Plattner out in the flat and threw it up a little short. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Well, Mark, I like the idea. Get on the perimeter. Again, the front and linebackers are winning the battle right now, so play on the edge. See if you can create some big plays there.
So what would you say the effectiveness? I mean, they're essentially a 3-man front for New Pal, very similar to what East Noble does. So what's the difference in the effectiveness running the football?
Right now, they can't block the front. The down 3 for New Pal is chewing up 5 offensive linemen, which means now you can't get to the second level, whereas New Pal's able to get to the second level, and that's where they're having success.
Give him credit for 5 on the carry. Brings up a manageable 3rd down and 5. Good look again at Michael Thacker. 11 sacks on the season. Even has an interception. That's not a big surprise, really.
No, it's 3rd and 5 or 6 here. I would run the football because it's going to be 4-down territory.
On 3rd down and 5. Motion man, play action to him, and they go to Dallas Plattner. Plattner with some running room across the 40 up to about the 37-yard line.
I like it. And again, great use of motion. What it does, it freezes the outside edge players, and they just can't run to the ball. Now you got a chance to get to that second level. Watch here again. They're pulling. I like it. Great scheme. Great job of gap blocking. You're blocking back and pulling guys. I like it.
I get Crail, but let's face it, Plattner gets him to the line of scrimmage a little quicker.
He does. He's done a nice job.
He's got him up the left sideline to Swagger, and what a great play underneath to knock that ball away. And we have called his name on more than one occasion. That's Lasad, Elijah Lasad.
Elijah, great job running stride for stride. Catch it, big fella. You got it. You're there. You've done the dirty work. Catch it.
You can't play defense much better than that in the secondary.
What I loved he did, Elijah flips his hips, runs in parallel with the receiver, doesn't panic, makes up the ground, and just nearly has the pick.
I like the fact that he turned his head to look for the football, which not enough of them do anymore. Dallas Plattner with a nice carry, and he's starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. Runs the football left to about the 30-yard line and brings up a manageable 3rd and 4.
Done a nice job. They're doing a better job up front here of getting to that second level, and they're doing it because they're bringing motion across, and they're not letting all 6 or 7 of the interior players get to the football.
Motion again. That's Frisch, and he's got a man open underneath.
Yep.
And he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. That's Jordan Mortars, 6th touchdown on the season, and that'll push him over 200 yards receiving.
Fantastic job. What they did there, again, they've run the ball so well. Now they run that play action. The safety comes down. There's nobody behind him. Great throw and catch there for the Knights. I love that style of play there. Up-tempo. I like the quick hitters bring the ball as well.
Well, I think that's what's most impressive. And let's face it, it's lopsided right now. There's no question about it. But clearly they're continuing to coach, and they're making adjustments.
Alex Stewart is one of the best coaches that we have in our state here. He's young. He's done a great job everywhere he's been. This is not a fluke that East Noble is here. He is a great coach, and he will continue to coach, and his kids will continue to play throughout the entire game.
Well, no tee out there on the field, so they're going to go for 2 here. Try to make it a 42-21 ball game. A long look over to the sidelines, the play clock. They've got plenty of time. 20 seconds still on the play clock as they go for the 2-point conversion. Biddle looking under some pressure. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped. Rock Brownfield with the pressure. 2-point conversion, no good. Minute 22 left in the third. 42-19. It's all presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network. Let's say we go back and revisit 1984. Look at those flypaper hands in the end zone, huh? That guy made Jeff George. Who is that number 81? You were just giving them heck for celebrating, and look at that dance in the end zone.
There was no flag, though. There was no flag. We're going to sit there and do that. That's one of my best friends there, Shannon Furbrush, and a lot of great memories from 40 years ago, winning our first state championship at Warren Central. Appreciate you guys showing that.
I was hoping we'd see that helmet off so we could see those luxurious locks you had once upon a time.
That was before children. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Hey, thanks to our producer, Joe Goodrich. We got together and put that together for you. We thought it'd be a fun walk down memory lane. Happy to be able to do that for you, and well-deserved. Fond memories for you, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was. It seems like, yes, it's been 40 years, but it's been a blast, and really valued our time winning a state championship.
Well, that set the stage for a pretty good life for you, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
As we've talked about, folks, athletics opens up so many doors in your lives, and being here just changes your community and program so much.
Now, they attempted the onside kick there, which is not a bad call, but it was touched before it got to 10 yards, so that's an illegal touch charged against East Noble.
Well, the good news is you tried something to be aggressive, so I like that. And the bad news is now you give New Pal the ball on the 46-yard line, which is not great.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with the New Pal Dragons, they keep playing.
Kyle is not going to take his foot off the throttle. You know, his philosophy is, I coach my team, not yours. I'm going to keep playing. You need to too.
We've had conversations about that, he and I, over the past, and he said, well, I mean, if I'm ever on the end of that, I'm going to take it. So that's as much as I can say. Like you said, coach your team, let me take care of mine. So we'll see how this unfolds over the final 13 minutes or so of this football game. And how it's unfolding, to me, it's impressive to watch East Noble continue to play every down very hard.
Alex Stewart has an integrity about him and a base about him that he's grounded. His kids are going to fight. They're going to compete like their head coach does. And, again, they don't like to score right now, but they're not going to stop playing.
About the length of the football, so second down and long now. Nose of the football might barely touch the 45-yard line. There's just a confidence that New Pal plays with, just with everything that they do. Receiver position, lineman, just the way they carry themselves. I mean, he's built one whale of a culture there in high school football. Rollison in motion. And I tell you, he held on to that football, Davis did, for a long, long time, and it was hard to figure out who had it, but the defense figured out that it was Josh Raines, and he's able to stumble forward for a gain of about 4, bringing up a 3rd and 5.
Well, I like what Kyle does and how he stresses a defense. When you are running an offense that reads players, where you don't have to block them, you do what they tell you to do here by going either to the give or to the quarterback, so it makes it really simple.
Now, Kyle feels pretty good about where they are right now, so he is going to let this third quarter expire, and they will be 1 quarter away from another state championship at New Pal High School. Fourth quarter action when we come back. It's the 52nd annual IHSAA Football State Championships presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network.
Action about to kick off here at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's New Pal up 42-19 over East Noble. Well, joining me on the sideline, special guest is Andy Matus, the Senior Manager of Football Development here with the Indianapolis Colts. Andy, thanks so much for joining us. And you're here to tell us a little bit more about your new campaign and how it relates with girls flag football. Why don't you tell fans at home a little bit about Road to 100?
Yes, absolutely. We're excited to start our Road to 100, which means the Road to 100 teams, member schools participating in girls flag football. We have 27 playing now, so the goal is to get 73 more. For the next 75 schools that commit to playing in the fall, they can receive up to $10,000 in support package, from financial grants to equipment assistance to jersey assistance as well.
Well, you're here at state football. Why don't you go ahead and explain your connection with the IHSAA?
Yeah, so we're the presenting sponsor of the IHSAA football state finals in the postseason. We're excited to continue to support the IHSAA and what they do and give these boys the stage that they have this weekend. So.
And next step moving forward, what could people in schools sitting at home learn about this or get involved?
Yes, if you're interested in a girls flag team in your community, please visit colts.com/girlsflag. We have an interest reply form there. Fill that out and we'll get in touch with your school administration.
I love it. Thanks so much, Andy. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Great stuff. And, the helmet display of all the helmets for every school in the state champions, the outer lobby here, the outer concourse, and, of course, the champions' jerseys and helmets they put on display. What a commitment by all of the professional sports franchises in Indianapolis to high school athletics.
We are a lucky state here. We've got great facilities and great partners in every sport that do a great job. But the Colts lead the way, folks. They make it possible for us to be down here in this great venue. So thank you so much to the Indianapolis Colts.
5-yard offside penalty to start this quarter, followed up by Caden Jacobia with the run to the 30-yard line, 31, and a fresh set of downs. Interesting that this flag football was starting to get some legs because, appropriately enough, 50th anniversary for girls high school basketball in the state of Indiana.
It's just great to see, flag football and see how the it continues to grow with the Colts in bringing more and more people involved with football and sports in general. So it's fantastic.
Girls wrestling a sanctioned sport for the first time, and they'll have a championship later this year. Oglesby on the carry, looks for some running room on the right side. East Noble, decent job of stringing it out, but he's still able to push the pile forward for a gain of about 3.
Well, East Noble is fighting tooth and nail here. They're getting to the football here. They've got to try to win the battle of line of scrimmage a little bit better. They're getting blown off a little bit, which creates some gaps and seams for these backs to run for positive yards.
Ball is just shy of the 29-yard line. Second down and long 8, short 9, whatever you want to call it. Fourth quarter action, all New Pal, 42-19. On second down and 8. Jacoby, left side, across the 25 to the 21. Riley Biddle getting a lot of minutes on both sides of the football, especially out of his free safety position, and on a number of tackles in the second half especially.
Really good job there by New Pal. Alexander Scott came in late to the edge, and they picked it up seamlessly, but great job by Jacoby again of just understanding the edge was taken, put his foot in the ground, and got north-south for a positive gain.
Fresh set of downs from the 21. Essentially a 2 tight end set with a single setback. Receivers to the high and low. Jacobia changes direction and finds success. 10, chased out of bounds at around the 5. Their runners are so very patient. They wait for things to develop.
Just a junior. I just like his balance. Really, Caden has done a nice job. Jump cuts again. He's done all game, been athletic and fast enough to get to the perimeter. Great balance, vision. Great job by the junior. He's awfully talented.
How about Jacob Davis out there leaning his shoulder in on a blocker, too?
Again, that just speaks to this team camaraderie and all 11 doing their job for the success of the play.
We should mention he has 154 yards rushing now, does Jacobia, and they will now go back to Raines, who has 148 yards rushing. And Davis is going to carry the football and get it down inside the 2-yard line. He's had a decent day, too. That's his 11th carry, and that's going to put him around 50 yards rushing.
When you can do that and you can spread the wealth around, everyone stays healthy, everyone's happy, you're keeping a lot of people involved, and it really stresses the defense because you can't just focus on 1 or 2 guys. You got to focus on all 11, and that really creates a lot of problems.
They'll go a little heavier set defensively with East Noble now that they're in a goal line situation. Football laid to rest right at the 2-yard line.
Last time I saw Davis keep it here, I'll be see if they go conventional here.
Second effort gets him into the end zone. Josh Raines.
Yep.
And there's a lot of blue shirts on the ground.
Well, they're diving low, and so then all Raines has to do is just sidestep it and go over. I like the philosophy of doing it, but there's not a second level to come in, and Raines just kind of slides and shifts through it here. Watch them go low. I like it. Now it's one-on-one, and again, he's just able to just kind of overpower and get into the end zone.
Thought I heard a loud whistle just now. It was clearly the Raines train rumbling into the end zone.
He has done a nice job. He's again, over 2,000 yards, folks. That is not easy to do at any level.
Davis handles the holding duties, and so far Jake Wells has been perfect on the day after an impressive season, which he only missed a couple of point afters. We are up to 49-19 now with 9:07 left in the ballgame for a title game presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Champions Network. Time now for the Indianapolis Colts play of the game. We'll tell you why in just a moment. There it is. It's Raines with a second effort gets to pay dirt. Here's why. Raines has now tied the 4A record for touchdowns in the game.
That's a great tribute, great job. It starts up front. They've done a phenomenal job, and boy, Raines has been a man on a mission here with his 4th touchdown of the game. Impressive.
304 yards rushing between their 2 running backs, Jacobia and Raines.
That's just, I mean, when you look at rushing yards, 354 to 24, that's the big reason why they're up 49-19.
And again, you're talking about a team in East Noble that prides itself on its ground game, and to that end, Crail has rushed for over 1,600 yards on the season.
And that's the one thing that he certainly had the attention of this New Pal defense, and they've done a great job of limiting his touches and yards.
Been a busy day to the good for Jake Wells as he kicks it off again, and it goes to one of the upbacks who rumbles ahead to the 30-yard line and decent fielding position before a host of New Pal Dragons is there to wrap up and drop Ian Ramey.
So you're probably a series or 2 away from getting a lot of your subs into the game if you're East Noble here. But right now you still want to try to score points, try to create some momentum for your program moving forward.
The seniors in key positions for them, but some pretty impressive juniors for them as well, talking about East Noble. And Kyle Ralph will have a lot of familiar faces in ideal places next year for the New Pal Dragons.
They tend, as we talked about the old adage, they don't rebuild, they just reload. But I tell you what, Alex Stewart, everywhere he's gone, folks, he's won.
Right.
He's done a great job here. He will miss.
2-yard carry for Dallas Plattner, by the way. Picks up a couple, gets it up to about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, sorry, he will miss some of his seniors like Dylan Crail, but they'll be back.
So Logan Hatton lines up in a slot to the right. Might see them release him up the seam. They bring motion, a little cross-buck play action, and a good run for Dallas Plattner, who's probably had about as much success running the football for them as anyone has.
Dallas has been great. I just think he hits it a little different.
Right.
He's done a nice job here. He's been patient. The offensive line has really worked well with him and the game, and give Dallas Plattner a lot of credit.
Good look at Alex Stewart. Oh, and a bad snap. Almost lost the football, and we'll see if New Pal was able to get it back, and it looks like they did indeed. It was a great effort by Riley Biddle to try to jump on it. It was just a bad snap that he was able to gather back in. Here's a look at it.
Ball is low and to the right, and again, he's trying to get to it. Biddle is, but great job by Oglesby of getting there first, and the Dragons have the ball on the 25.
Regardless of the circumstances, you just fall on it.
Exactly. I know you try to do too much, and I understand that if it's fourth down, I get it. You pick it up and try to do something, but in that situation, just get on it and keep the ball.
So a fresh set of downs for Kyle Ralph and New Pal.
As we've talked earlier, he's going to keep going. He's got his guys are in the game, and it's your job to stop them.
Rollison, McMahon, and Wasson are in the receiving core, and rumbling to the right is Josh Raines. As we mentioned, 2,000 yards rushing on the season for him. He's tied a 4A record for touchdowns, and he gets 6 on the first down carry, bringing up a 2nd and 4.
Just methodical. They do such a good job. They never seem like they're out of control or are in a bad spot, and that's a big credit to Kyle Ralph.
Got to give a lot of credit to Brock Brownfield, Aiden Redmond, Colin Wetzel, Landon Seib, and Abe Walling. That's that offensive line that has been so impressive today.
They really have been really fantastic. They're now in a double tight look, which really evens out and stresses that defense a little bit more.
They'll try him again. And what patience. I mean, he dives into the pile and nothing's there. And so he keeps the legs churning and redirects himself down inside the 10 and brings up a 1st and goal to go.
Watch this jump cut here, folks. This is impressive. He gets deep into the whole jump cuts out of it and then gets north and south. Fantastic job. I think he might be cramping a little bit there.
Yeah. Comes to the sidelines, and so they replace him with a guy that's rushed for 154 yards today.
Now you've done again. Both those backs have been a great 1-2 combination and punch here for this great Dragon offense.
Clock rolls inside of 7 minutes left in this one. Again, Westfield and Brownsburg. A lot of folks think that might be the most competitive game of the weekend.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be two great programs. They've done a great job. They played earlier during that lightning delay, but it should be a fun game.
Kyle Ralph decides to take a timeout, and it just didn't look good after they made the substitution. They took a long look over to the sidelines and weren't real clear on their communication, I don't think.
Well, they were getting ready to get a penalty for delay a game and give him and his staff credit for recognizing that and just let's calm them down and get back in order.
Second annual IHSAA Football State Finals are brought to you by the Indianapolis Colts, presenting sponsor of the IHSAA State Football Tournaments. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, presenting broadcast sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network. And by the following: Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA. Wilson Sporting Goods, the official ball of IHSAA Sports. Indiana Careers in Construction. Learn more about apprenticeship programs at builttosucceed.org. LIUNA, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. And by Ivy Tech Community College, proud supporter of the IHSAA Sportsmanship Program. Reach your goal at Ivy Tech.
Always a concern when you take over an established program, and I asked Alex Stewart, how quickly did the buy-in come? And he said, well, it came very quickly, because he said, I was able to retain almost the entire staff from last year, which helped a lot. He started to get in the building as often as possible, build relationships. He met with the seniors right away, and he said he's glad he did that because they bought in totally and they worked very, very hard.
That's really the first group you have to get when you build and start a new program is you got to get the seniors to buy in because, again, it's their senior year. It's very important to them, and Alex Stewart did a great job of doing that.
They'll try Jacoby on left side, and he has a convoy of blockers getting him into the end zone for the touchdown. I mean, Brownfield got upfield. Seib got upfield. He pulled and led the way. Just an impressive play design. Just too many white shirts to block.
When you can get the edge the way that New Pal has done most of this game, it's really difficult to stop and slow down a running attack, and they've done a great job of scheming to get that edge.
Been an enjoyable day for Jake Wells, as we mentioned, 62 of 68 on PATs on the season, coming into play this afternoon, and he has been perfect on the day so far. And they're shy some numbers.
He got plenty of time.
Is New Pal, but yeah, the clock's just now at 15 seconds as John Raines rushes in at the last moment, filling a spot along that offensive line. Davis to hold, Wetzel to snap. Ball is down, kick is up, and it is good. He remains perfect on the day. We'll stay here with 6.5 minutes to go, and it's now 56-19. Take a couple of more looks at that convoy of blockers.
Well, I said they're all stepping in unison, almost like a chorus line here, but great job. That's just a zone blocking, folks. Everyone's going to the left, and then as a back, you have a 2 or 3 way go, and Jacobia does a great job of finding pay there.
Garrett Raines, the junior, came in as an extra blocker at that tight end position, and he actually, the block that sprung him at about the 4-yard line.
And that's what Kyle's done. He started going with 2 tights the last couple series of running the same plays, but you're getting an extra blocker, and you're capturing the edge a little bit easier, and that's how they've been keeping this great running game going.
Lone loss for East Noble this year was to Fort Wayne Snyder in the postseason. They beat Fort Wayne Southside, number 10 Leo, and Bishop Dwenger. Then beat Huntington North, and then had a slugfest with number 6 Mishawaka. And it was raining, sleeting, snowing, a little bit of everything up there. And, as we said, that both teams limited possessions for one another, just 3 possessions for each team in the first half, I think. And, it was that they didn't punt. East Noble didn't punt until 3 minutes to go in the ballgame.
Well, it's a credit to both of those programs. Mishawaka is a storied program as well, but to be able to get here, folks, is such a big deal, and hats off to both teams. And again, it's something that every kid dreams of doing and playing here on Thanksgiving weekend.
A short, quick kick going to be returned to the 32-yard line. The biggest challenge, I think, this season. Mount Vernon put up a good fight in the opening game of the sectional, 28-14, but that overtime win over Indianapolis Chittard, that was a slugfest.
Well, there was something that when you talked to Kyle Ralph about that, he knew that was the game that stood in their way for getting to the state championship, and just what Chittard does and how they run their program and to go to overtime and to win it the way they did is a credit to he and his program.
Yeah, there are some schools that we have seen here year in and year out, and boy, they're not here this year, and I think it speaks to the balance that we're starting to see statewide.
Well, you're starting to see the coaches and everything start to level out a little bit.
Substitution. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
5-yard penalty to start with an illegal substitution to start that drive.
And you're seeing more and more schools, like in East Noble, that has a weight program, a weight coach, and you're seeing that across the board now. And the rules that we have in Indiana are as good as they are in the entire country for the spring practice, the summer practice, and going into the fall. And thus, you're seeing a lot more programs take positive steps forward.
6.5-minute mark. They'll throw a deep ball up the left sidelines, and it was almost gathered in by Logan Hatton, who got the scoring started off for East Noble, we should say. And Hatton's a little slow to get up because he really laid out for that football and took a hard hit on the turf.
He did, and it was almost an acrobatic one-handed catch there. He twists his body around. Logan, I've been impressed with Logan Hatton, folks. He's a senior, has really played well, has shown some great athleticism and speed, almost just hauled in a phenomenal catch.
That would have been a circus catch, most assuredly, and he is slowly but surely working his way back up to his feet. Nice pitch and catch underneath. Going to pick him about 7 yards before Caden Jacobian is able to chase him out of bounds. And that pass is good enough to get about 7 yards from Mason Tresh.
The one thing that we talked about, Kyle Ralph, these offensive players are playing defense. He plays his best players on both sides of the football, really in all 3 phases. And he takes great pride in the conditioning his kids are in, and just how they're coached to be able to play 4 quarters of football.
We're going to see a pretty good player on both sides of the football for Heritage Hills tomorrow on that 3A game.
Oh boy, I tell you what, Jet Goldsberry, folks, if you've not seen him, his dad was a dude, and John Goldsberry played at Purdue, but Jet is as good or better.
3rd and 9, and that one skips through the wickets. It was almost picked off, and that is the second time that Lasad has almost had himself an interception. The other time was near the end zone.
Elijah has done a nice job of being in the right place at the right time. And again, when you do that repeatedly, good things happen to you here. And I do like the call here by Alex Stewart to punt the ball.
Yep, not willing to give up good field position to New Pal. So they're going to send the punt team in. That will dispatch Riley Biddle back to the 20-yard line to kick it away.
East Noble has 10 out there right now.
Rollison wants an opportunity to return it, but it's going to run underneath it instead, and it is going to take another beneficial roll for Riley Biddle down inside the 15-yard line to about the 12, and that's where New Pal will have another possession, the 5:23 mark.
We got a flag here. I believe we're going to get an unsportsmanlike on New Pal. They were just kind of chicken fighting a little bit here, and then they got a little carried away.
So we'll see how this shakes out. Don't forget, we've got one more today. It's Westfield and Brownsburg. Looking forward to that 6A title game. And then we have another busy day tomorrow with 3 games on the docket.
It's the best weekend of our year. If you're a football fan here, it's great. You get 6 games here. It's well worth it, folks. If you've not been to a state finals game, you need to come down here. It's really well worth the trip.
So North Judson, Providence at 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back for Fort Wayne Bishop Lures and Heritage Hills around 3 p.m. And then we'll wrap up the day and the football season with the 5A championship, Warsaw versus Decatur Central at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the call is here because there might have been a punch thrown. I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely going to be unsportsmanlike. Yeah, okay, good call. Again, the boys are being boys there, so you're going to get a little more yardage here for East Noble.
Great job by the officiating crew here this afternoon in this 3A title game. 4A title game, we should say. Justin Shippey, Jeff Lytle.
I'm saying I think they called this before the punt was made, so you're looking at they're going to get the ball back. I think East Noble is.
Kyle Ralph is not happy about it at all. He's talking it over with the official, and he doesn't talk too long given the circumstances. 56-19.
During the kick, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So, bit of a break late for East Noble, much to the chagrin of those below us.
Keep playing. Again, that's the message from both Alex and Kyle to their players. Keep playing the game. Again, you still got 5:23 to go. End on a positive.
And Anthony Mitchner just got an earful from Kyle Ralph because he was not on the field. He was a late arrival to the defense. So fresh set of downs for Riley Biddle and company. 1st and 10 from just shy of midfield. Biddle steps up in the pocket, looks up the right side. It's pretty well defended, and we'll see if it was picked off, and it was not. But still pretty impressive defense by the guy that just got an earful from Kyle Ralph.
Great job of being in phase here. Super job there on the back end, and I think they listened to Kyle at halftime, and they're playing the coverages that he wants them to be able to play.
So Mitchner with the coverage there defensively. And Logan Hatton was the intended target, bringing up a 2nd down and 10, stopping the clock with 5:17 to go. Biddle looking and overthrows his intended target, looking for Hatton again.
Good to see Hatton back in the game after him getting a little just kind of a little injuries there earlier. But he has been special. He's been in lead. He's really had a really good game.
Boy, he almost made a circle catch.
I know, unbelievable.
He got a hold of it with one hand and got on his back, and it popped up, and he couldn't gather it back in. And he was a little slow to get up. But as you suggest, happy to see him back in the football game. 3 receivers set. Biddle. The receiver slipped. That's Hatton. He slipped and fell, and I got to give him credit because he didn't make a mistake that a lot of receivers do. He went a yard past the chain, tried to come back to get the first down, and he stumbled out of his break, and that's how it fell incomplete.
Well, the senior has done a great job on both sides of the football all year long here for the Knights. And, again, his football IQ of understanding where the first down was great. Just slipped on his route and couldn't come up with the catch.
4th down and 10. It looks like they're going to try to punt it away again. Rollison is going to drop back deep again. I will say Biddle has done a really nice job of attempting to flip the field punting the football.
He's done a really good job. He just shows his athleticism by being able to punt the ball this well.
And that's a good one.
Woo.
Going to hit the ground at about the 5-yard line and bounce straight up in the air, and they're going to cover it at the 2-yard line. And Hatton went down there to cover it up.
Great coverage, great job. Again, what I'm impressed with these coaches, and you're going to see it at the 6A game as well, their best players are playing special teams. So you have Hatton down there fielding this punt, and downing it. You got Biddle punting. You win when your best players are on the field.
Kyle Ralph talking things over with his signal caller, Jacob Davis. As we mentioned, 13-0 coming in. Kyle Ralph, 140-14 in 12 seasons. 6th appearance here in the state championship.
Now he's just taken this program and community by storm, and he's done it the right way. He builds it. He starts in the weight room every single year. He's got great offensive and line play and defensive line play. He's got a great staff around him and great players.
Well, you know that the calls have come from other schools. There's no question, probably in his native state of Ohio. But sometimes you're just happy. And, you win 140 games and only lose 14. That's going to make you happy.
Well, he does it the right way, folks, and I see him here for a long time.
Jacobia. Correct that. Starting to go a little bit deeper into the bench, and Wigan with the carry.
Yeah, Max, a senior. Great job here of getting different players in the game now.
Rushing 7 rushing TDs is a new 4A state championship game record.
Impressive game. I mean, you have to take your hat off to what East Noble has done, but New Pal has just been better tonight.
Wigan got 6 yards on that carry to set up a 2nd down and 4. It's another shot at it, but East Noble was there to bottle that up. Kobe Ritchie stepped up from his linebacker position to help make that stop.
He's okay, folks. He just got hit a little bit.
Ramey was also there, we should say. Give a lot of credit to Ramey for making the stop along with Ritchie.
Still playing hard. Still doing the things you need to do on defense. New Pal has just made more plays. They've done a good job up front, but don't take nothing away from East Noble. You've had not a good year, but a great year, and this is something that this community, students, and faculty will not forget anytime soon.
Jacobia is back in the ball game on a 3rd down and 4. He's trying to find some running room outside and give him a lot of credit for stretching it out, knocking him out of bounds. They're going to keep the clock running.
Keep it running and look for New Pal to punt here. You got Jacob Davis as a punter. His last punt was a phenomenal one in the first half here, but he comes in again, 32.5 yards a punt. And see him get this away.
Hasn't had to do that much today, huh?
No, he has not. And this offense has really been effective, and it really starts up front, and they've done a really good job.
Mason Trish is just inside the 50. Kick is away, and look at that one. Fair catch called for at about the 44-yard line, and that's where East Noble will get a possession with 2:44 to go. Let's take a look at the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance game highlights, and what a record-setting performance it would be for New Pal today, but a great start for East Noble.
Boy, Logan was fantastic on getting their Hatton, but then from that point on, it's been the Rain show, and he's done a great job.
They've also aired it out pretty well. They've got an outstanding receiving core, and how about Austin McMahon with all that he can do with the football?
He's been fantastic. You're looking here at Davis score, and you can't stop them all.
And Jacobia with the long run. That was 61 yards for him. Gives him a 163 yards and 166 yards for Rains.
When you can run for 385 yards, you're going to win most games, and that's exactly what New Pal has done up to this point.
You know, you talk about that. I was talking to Kyle Lindsay, and we were going back to 2009 when I was on the staff, and Fort Wayne Bishop Brewers beat us in the 2A title game and then beat North Putnam the next year. He said, I'll tell you an interesting stat. Those 2 years, our defense gave up over 400 yards rushing, and we still won a state championship. Jalen Smith might have had something to do with that.
Jalen Smith was one of the best players to ever play in Indiana, and obviously a huge player for Lures.
And how about this run for East Noble? That's Dallas Plattner. And really, I like the way he's run the football in this half for East Noble.
He has done a great job, and nothing to take away from what Dylan Rails has done all year long. But today, Plattner has been a little better fit for them offensively.
He just gets to the line of scrimmage a little quicker. He gets to that next level a little faster for them.
And Krell's done a great job on defense in both sides, but Plattner has been a pleasant addition today.
Jet motion sweep, but a nice job of coming down the line and making the tackle by Cameron Rollison.
Rollison has had a really good game. He's returned some kicks here, but he's been really special on defense.
Maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half. They're inside the 5, inside the 4, just shy of the 3 as the clock rolls with 1:45 to go. Just trying to settle on a final score in this one. Nance from running room left side and dancing into the end zone as Dallas Plattner. Plattner, 5'11" senior. Got to be happy for him. A senior, I know he's going to be disappointed, but he's going to be happy about the fact he got a chance to get the end zone in the state championship game.
Absolutely, and again, they're not stopping the play,
no.
and I just like the way, again, that's a huge tribute to Alex Stewart. Again, Alex, you've done a great job wherever you've been, and again, you've represented yourself, your school, and community incredibly well today.
Well, let's give a lot of credit to their athletic director, who knew he was getting the right guy, especially when he was turning over the keys to the program he built.
Well, Luke is a class act, and he understood exactly what he wanted in following him, and he found the right guy in Alex Stewart.
So Alex Sprague to attempt the point after. Ball is down. The kick is up, and it is good. And it makes it 56-26 with 1:42 remaining in this 4A title game.
Well, just give East Noble all the credit. They're continuing to play. Alex Stewart demands that, and that's just the expectation, and it's a culture that he's going to continue to build on things that Luke had established.
So New Pal won the title in 2014, 18 and 19. The latter two in Class 5A. They were the state runner-up back in 1990 and in 2015. And again, if you missed it off the top, it's interesting to note that one of the best to ever do it. You talk about guys bringing several teams here, but it's interesting the connection that Tim Abel, the legendary coach at Triton Central High School, has to both of these programs.
Well, Tim Abel was the last time that East Noble won 24 years ago. He was their coach before he left to go to Decatur Central, and then ultimately had a stop at New Palestine, had a heck of a career here, and now is at Triton Central. So I know Tim is watching with fond memories of both schools.
He has done a whale of a job at Triton Central. They make deep tournament runs regularly.
He is special, folks. He's one of the best that we've got, and I'm really happy for the job that he's done at Triton Central.
So 56-26 as East Noble gets set to kick it away, and Alex Sprague will do so. And we'll see how conservative Kyle Ralph goes on this, what could be the final possession of the ball game for New Pal before they rack up another state championship, add more hardware to the ever-growing trophy case at New Pal.
You're going to kick it deep here and cover. Yep.
And kick it deep they do. Ball's going to roll into the end zone, and New Pal will get the football 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
I would say that we'll see a lot of backups here now, and maybe not. Kyle, again, he's going to be pretty conservative, I think, with the play calls. I think he wants to get through this next 1:42 and win another state championship.
So with 1:42 to play, it's 56-26, and of course we'll have plenty of festivities at our post game. We'll meet the Mental Attitude Award winner. We'll talk to Kyle Ralph and maybe a couple of other members of that New Pal football team. Get a chance to catch up with Coach Stewart, reflect upon his season.
Well, you can't win them all, and it's one of those things. When you get here, I know that East Noble, this stings. I understand that, but boy, you've had just an incredible run, a great season, not a good season, an incredible season. Gavin
Neal is handling the quarterbacking duties, and they've made some other changes in the backfield. Give that carry to T.J. Wadman. Wadman is a 5'6" senior, running back and defensive back. No gain on that play. And a big round of applause for one of their talented linemen, Landon Seib, who comes out of the ball game. Also seeing Austin McMahon come to the sidelines. What a career it's been for that young man. Close to 800 yards receiving coming into this game, and as good of a receiver he is, he's an even better blocker when they run the football.
He's just been, both those guys have been fantastic, and I love what Kyle's doing. He's paying tribute to his seniors. I think that's a big deal, and it's something that he understands the importance of senior leadership, because they're the ones who really build and carry on that culture each year.
And Alex Stewart is shuffling some of his seniors out of the contest as well, as they get a well-deserved round of applause. Pace Agee coming to the sidelines, talented senior defensive end for them.
You give these seniors a lot of credit. It's really hard when you have a coaching change during your senior year, and they bought into Alex Stewart, and he's bought into them. It's really special.
And a victory formation for New Pal, and they are going to rack up another state championship and begin the celebration as Kyle Ralph continues to put up gaudy and impressive numbers as a head coach in 12 seasons on the sidelines at New Pal.
Well, congratulations to Kyle Ralph. He does it the right way. His fourth state championship. He is fantastic for every part of our sport, and we are happy that he's head coach in our state of Indiana.
I've made the observation about them on more than one occasion is that year in and year out, the names change and the faces change, but the style of play and the players and just their body makeup and how they approach things, that hasn't changed in the 12 years that he's been there.
Well, that's just the core values that Kyle stands for, and he understands what he needs and his expectation of his players, his coaches, and the community for them to be successful each year.
There's a hug between the two head coaches, and you heard that great story that Kelsey told off the top about the friendship that they developed and how much time they have spent together and helping one another, and this is an incredible fraternity in terms of head coaches. You want to beat one another, but when all is said and done, you remain friends and you actually help one another. You'll sit down, draw up your offense, draw up your defense, and help one another throughout the course of the offseason and at clinics and that.
Football coaches share a lot, and again, there are no secrets, and we're excited to have those coaches in our state.
Speaking of Kelsey Casper, she is caught up with Coach Ralph.
Coach, congratulations on this state title. A dominant second-half performance and a dominant performance on the ground. What can you say about this offense and the way they controlled this game?
I mean, it's what we've done all year. The offensive line came to play tonight. Our running backs ran the ball hard. Jake made good reads. We threw the ball as we needed to. We pride ourselves on being physical and being able to wear people out, and I think that's what we did tonight for the 14th time.
And your defense able to silence East Noble majority of this game. What can you say about that side of the ball and what role they played, not only in this win, but all season?
We made some mistakes tonight, but overall we played a really tough football game on defense. We got a lot of those guys back. We've got 10 starters back on defense for next year, so we'll work on some of the stuff this offseason. But all in all, it was a good enough performance to win, and when you're in the championship game, winning's all that really matters.
You have built quite the powerhouse here at New Pal. Your fourth state title in the dozen years you've been coaching here. What does this community and program mean to you?
I mean, you can look behind me and you can see how great our community is. I mean, the whole sideline over there in red. It's from the NPCFL to our junior high to the high school. We've got everything in line. I think that's such an undervalued part of high school football is having alignment from your youth league all the way up. And when you've got fans like ours every Friday night that come out and support their team and their boys, it's just second to none. So I'm proud of what we've done. It doesn't go without the hard work of our players, our coaches, the people that volunteer. And it's a football community, and we love it.
Congratulations, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Post-game festivities continue. The IHSAA Phil Eskew Mental Attitude Award is proudly presented by the Indianapolis Colts, who are honored to support outstanding student athletes at all levels. Now, let's go learn who our Mental Attitude Award winner is by joining the public address.
IHSAA Executive Committee member Chris Painter of Terre Haute North High School to announce and present the 2024 Phil Eskew Mental Attitude Award for Class 4A.
We would like to welcome Andy Matus, Senior Manager of Football Development for the Indianapolis Colts, and Dr. Phil N. Eskew Jr., son of former IHSAA Commissioner Phil N. Eskew, and IHSAA Foundation Board member, to assist with the presentation of the 2024 Phil N. Eskew Mental Attitude Award for Class 4A football. The Indianapolis Colts, presenting sponsor of the IHSAA State Football Tournament, will award a $1,000 scholarship to the winner's school. On behalf of the IHSAA, please join us in saying thank you to the Indianapolis Colts for their generous support of student athletes and high school football. After we announce the name of the recipient, we invite his parents to join him on the field. The recipient of this award was selected by the IHSAA Executive Committee. The student was nominated by his principal, athletic director, and coach, and excelled in mental attitude, athletic ability, scholarship, and leadership during his 4 years of high school. The winner of the 2024 Phil N. Eskew Mental Attitude Award for Class 4A football is Dylan Crail of East Noble High School.
Hi, I'm Chris Ballard, General Manager for your Indianapolis Colts. In the game of football, it's more than what takes place on the field. It's the mental toughness and willingness to become a leader in the locker room and your community. This award embodies what we instill in our players. On behalf of the entire Colts organization, we congratulate you on winning the Indianapolis Colts Phil N. Eskew Mental Attitude Award.
Dylan ranks in the top 15% of his senior class as a member of the National Honor Society at East Noble and earned academic All-State distinctions this season. But an All-State selection by the Indiana Football Coaches Association the last 2 seasons. He also wrestles for the Knights, was part of a sectional and regional championship team in 2023. Also advanced to the semi-state round as individual that year. He has also taken part in baseball at East Noble. Mom and dad are Jason and Kari from Corunna, Indiana. He's undecided on where he will attend college, but he is interested in a career in education. Of course, the award named in honor of Commissioner Phil Eskew, who served as the 3rd commissioner from 1962 to 1976. Let's go to Kelsey.
Well, Dylan, I know this is not the outcome that you wanted tonight, but still putting together an incredible season in senior year at East Noble. What does winning this award mean to you?
It means everything. Thank you to all the fans that came out. You guys have no idea how much your support meant to us, not just to me, but to this whole team. So even though we didn't win, I'm sorry, but for you guys to all show out like you did, it means more than you guys could have ever imagined.
And Dylan, you pretty much don't get any rest on the field. You play pretty much everywhere, and talking with your head coach this week, he said you were one of the best players he's ever coached. What did playing high school football and playing for this program mean to you?
It meant my life. I grew up in DeKalb County, the Barrens, but I came to East Noble as a young kid, and I can never repay back this community what they've gave to me. Everybody from Southside Elementary, Wayne Center, I can't repay you guys enough for everything that you've done for me, and I hope that I can make you guys proud these 4 years that I was at East Noble.
Very well said. Congratulations, Dylan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure they're proud and then some. What an outstanding representative of that football program.
I tell you what, he does it. You know, it's great to see his accolades and all the great things he does on the field, but to see young men that are this well spoken, taking their academics so serious, somebody's going to get himself a great football player next year, because Dylan is a class act and a really, really good football player.
And what a special moment for mom and dad. Let's go back to Kelsey.
Well, Coach, not the finish that you wanted here tonight, but you made it to this state final game. What can you say about the season you put together, and what are you proud of most of this group?
Really proud of this group. You're really proud of the group of seniors. Me coming in my first year, they embraced me and bought in right away and worked their rear ends off to get us down here. And, the players are very deserving of this opportunity, and I'm extremely proud of those guys.
And making it this far in just your first year is pretty promising. What's in store for the future of East Noble football?
There's a lot of great things in store for the future of East Noble football, but right now we're going to celebrate this group of seniors, and they deserve that. They put in their heart and soul into this program and brought us down here, and we're gonna celebrate those guys, and we'll look to the future after tonight, but tonight we're just going to celebrate this great group of seniors.
Appreciate it so much, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Go Knights.
Yeah, go Knights indeed, and what a class act. I know he's a guy you're awfully high on, and I know those folks at East Noble feel like that they have the right guy guiding their fortunes. And, with both of these programs, because we talked about the great coaches that have been at New Pal, we talked about the great coaches at East Noble. Let's face it, the consistently successful programs have longevity in their coaching staffs.
They really do, and they do a great job of hiring quality people that also are great coaches. But quality people build quality programs, and those are the men that get back here time and time again, and East Noble has that guy in Alex Stewart.
Yeah, and, it's a program from top to bottom, and you heard Kyle Ralph reference that, Coach, when he talked about New Pal. The first thing out of his mouth, they talked about, how have you been able to do this? He mentioned what? His New Pal Youth League football program.
Great programs do it from the ground up on K through 12, and Kyle Ralph definitely does that.
Let's hear from Jacob Davis, the outstanding dual-threat quarterback for New Pal. Kelsey's caught up with it.
Well, Jacob, after that opening 3-and-out possession, it was smooth sailing for this offense. How did this group settle in and just dominate in this game?
We got our run game together, and we started hitting short little dink-and-dunk passes. And once we started getting that together, we started moving down the field and making plays.
And I know you love to use your legs, but we have to talk about your two backs behind you, and Josh and Caden. Just talk about their impact in this game and all season.
I mean, they're the best running back duo in the state. It's simple as that. We had over 400 yards rushing, and each of them probably had very close to 200 yards. And I know I like to use my legs, but it's nice when I don't have to.
Exactly, put it on them. And Jacob, this is New Pal's fourth state title in school history, and you get to add to that legacy. What does that mean to you?
It feels great. I mean, we're going to go back home and celebrate with our community, and hopefully we come back here for a fifth next year.
Exactly. More to come from New Pal. Thanks so much, Jacob. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
He was 11 of 12 for 127 yards and a touchdown. By the way, he had 11 carries for 50 yards. His long run was 14 yards, and he scored a touchdown. And those numbers he was talking about with his running backs, 24 carries for Raines for 166 yards, a long run of 41 to go with 4 touchdowns. And Jacobia, 17 carries, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a long of 61 yards.
That's just balance. And when you can do that and you can throw it enough to keep you honest, but yet run the football, that's their bread and butter. That's what they're known for. They came in, averaging 260 yards a game rushing, and they exceeded that and did so many things well. But when you can run the football, you control the tempo and the pace that you want to play at, and normally you win the game.
One guy who played well on both sides of the football that we talked about some but didn't really highlight him, you look at the numbers in Oglesby, he's running that jet sweep play action out of that tight end position, and he carried the ball 7 times. It goes down as receiving because the way they're kind of throwing it forward to him, but 7 times he touched the football for 53 yards, including a long carry of 17.
What Kyle Ralph does, he makes you play the entire width of the field, and then he can stretch you vertically with a great passing game. It's just hard to slow everything down when you have all those weapons, so credit to Kyle Ralph.
Let's hear from Josh Raines. As we mentioned, what a day for him on both sides of the football, but most noticeably, Kelsey, 24 attempts for 166 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, you mentioned the 4 touchdowns, and Josh, I don't know if you know, that ties the Class 4A state record in touchdown scores. Didn't even know that. Why were you so dominant on the ground today?
The O-line was working hard, and they're getting some holes wide open.
And you don't get much rest either. You play on defense, and you guys did your job on that end of the ball too. What was the game plan coming into this game defensively to limit East Noble?
For me to stay, like, let's not get tired and work hard and empty the gas tank.
And now you get to call yourself a state champ. Just describe the joy you're feeling in this moment.
I can't describe. You can't describe this. It's crazy. I've been doing this my whole life.
Well, now you get to live it. Congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, off the field, he's apparently a man of few words, but he certainly speaks rather loudly on both sides of the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's something, folks, unless you've won a state championship, it is hard to put in 2 words. As a coach, as a player, it's just something that, unless you've experienced it, you almost don't do it justice by trying to explain it. But it is something that these kids, for the rest of their lives, I can guarantee you 40 years later, I'm still a state champion, and they will be too.
Sports staff, the support staff and administration being introduced now, and the last round of applause will be the loudest for East Noble. And we'll talk more about their outstanding head coach in a moment. But we need to hear from the guy on the defensive side of the football, Kelsey, that Lance highlighted, Coach Scheib highlighted as a player to watch at the pregame show.
And he certainly was a player to watch in this game, Michael, a senior on this team, and you get to end your senior year with the state championship. Just describe what you're feeling in this moment.
I feel great. I'm excited that I got to play my last game with my boys that we struggled with last season after getting beat bad in semi-state, and just to be able to come back one more year and just finish it off just feels amazing.
What was the game plan on the defensive side of the ball coming into this game?
Stop the run and make them go 2-dimensional, and then stop that from there and just play with passion.
I was talking with Coach earlier this week, and he described you as the heartbeat of this team. What does Coach Ralph and this program mean to you?
Coach Ralph's my guy. I mean, I love the coach. He's done a lot for me, and the program's amazing. I mean, everybody goes through a struggle together, and it's not like solo. It's a brotherhood, and I love it.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And Alex Stewart getting his medal now as a runner-up, the head coach, the East Noble Knights. And we addressed it earlier, what he talked about. And you had to do this a couple of times in your career. That when you took over at Lebanon, then we took over at Franklin Central, then you took over at Noblesville. You can speak to how important it was for him to get that automatic buy-in, because it's not always a smooth transition when you take over somewhere.
It really isn't. And it comes down to trust. And these seniors trusted Alex Stewart. And that's a huge deal, because not all senior classes do that, because it's their last go-around, their last hurrah. But Alex is a man of principle, a man of vision, and he is the right choice. And I'm really happy for these seniors at East Noble and for Alex Stewart.
Really smart after he took that job to be in that building as much as he possibly could and have an opportunity to meet with those seniors, because he said those are the guys that you talked about you have to sell first, and he clearly did that.
He did a great job of understanding, again, that's what has to happen. He did the same thing at Western High School after leaving Northwestern, and did the same thing here at East Noble. But when you're a good person and you're a great person like Alex Stewart is, a family man, a man of great value and a great vision, it just fits naturally, and this is a great fit at East Noble and the Knights.
And you were one of those that talked about it, that a lot of people raised their eyebrows when he announced he left Western and went to East Noble, because he'd built a really successful program at Western High School.
I was one of those people. I was like, you got to be kidding me here, because again, you're leaving something that you've established and done such a great job of, and now you're going to go to the unknown. I give him credit. He is a man of faith, and he understood this is where he needed to be, and give him a lot of credit.
I think what he's got to be most proud of is within a year, you can tell that his influence has been felt, because Crail and Biddle and Plattner and Swager and Borders and Trish and all those guys, their outstanding offensive line and their defensive line and everything. All of these kids mirror their head coach and are outstanding representatives of their school and their community and their program.
It's just not normal, folks, to have a first-year coach come in and do what he does and did. And so, but to be able to get that buy-in tells me you're investing in those players in your program. And when you invest the way he did, you talked about him being in the school early and often. That shows investment from the head coach and buy-in, and thus it was received back to him from his players.
I'm a little surprised, quite frankly, that Krill has not landed somewhere. I think that I think he will. It's just a matter of time. And sometimes kids like to take their time, and they like to find the right fit, not only from a football standpoint, but they also need to find a right fit from the academic standpoint.
Dylan Crail is just a fantastic kid, and again, you saw it in his speech, but he is great on offense. He's great on defense. He's super off of the field as well. He will find a fit, and somebody's going to be really lucky to get him.
And let's not forget Dallas Plattner. I mean, we called him kind of their version of Thunder and Lightning, which is what New Pal had, but Dallas Plattner really gave them some spark in that second half offensively.
Dallas was fantastic. He hit the hole a little bit differently and took a little pressure off of Dylan offensively, but Plattner had a great senior game in the state finals. Had 72 yards rushing, a touchdown along a 36. He really played well.
Well, and his coach talked about it. He was the heart and soul of the defense, has an incredible nose for the football, athletic, strong enough to make plays all over the field. He called Logan Hatton a catalyst, too, making great plays from the secondary throughout the course of the season for them. Now it's time to the victor goes the spoils, and that's the New Pal Dragons. And as we mentioned, they're in the state finals for the 6th time in school history. Their 4th state title. They won it in 2014, 18, and 19. The last 2 they won in 5A, and they were the state runners-up in 1990 and 2015.
Just give Kyle Ralph all of the credit. He continually knocks on the door, builds the program the right way, gets kids here. They play on the biggest stage, and it's never too big for them, which is a credit to him.
4 weeks in a row now they've had 2 100-yard rushers, and that's an awfully tough team to beat.
Well, when you do that and you can run the ball, it really starts up front. Their linemen were phenomenal all game on both sides of the football. They were hard to block on defense, and they dominated on offense. And like I said earlier, when you can run the football and you stop the run, you normally win the game.
Clear the ground game was important to them, but he picked his spots very well, Kyle Ralph did, to throw the football and was successful in doing so. He was 11 of 12 was Davis for 127 yards and a touchdown.
Jacob Davis is one of my favorite quarterbacks in our state. He is talented. He works his tail off. He really understands the game. He's a student of the game. Great football IQ, and he's only a junior. He'll be back next year.
You know, all in all, it was a pretty penalty-free game. I think it got a little sloppy when emotions got the best of kids. But in terms of those intangibles, I think both coaches are probably happy all in all. There were some breakdowns defensively that led to a late score by East Noble that Kyle Ralph was not happy about. But I think a big key, which indicates how many yards they put up, is the fact that they continued to dominate time of possession throughout the course of the game.
They really did. Anytime you can have 33 yards of time or 33 minutes of time of possession, you're normally winning the game. And you know, to your point, it was really a relatively penalty-free game. The kids played well. They played hard. They focused on football and not some of the nonsense that sometimes happens. So that's a credit again to both coaches.
Hey, 2 organizations we need to give a big thank you to, and we're talking about the IHSAA Executive Committee and, of course, the Indiana Football Coaches Association, because I think Robert Falcons, as the director of this tournament and this state championship, would be the first one to tell you it would be a difficult thing to pull off for him if he didn't have the support of those 2 groups of people.
If you've been in any other state for a state championship game, nothing goes like this does. It's as smooth, it's scripted, it's unbelievable how it's run. Hats off to the IHSAA, the IFCA. We both have been a part of that for a long time. There's great buy-in, there's great respect from both groups here, but it's a collaboration here, but they work so well together, and this is the end result, and boy, is it a great show.
And what's significant about the IFCA's role in the IHSAA, we've talked about it before, but my building principal is Mike Springer. His dad was the legendary Indianapolis, Washington coach Bob Springer, and it was Bob Springer and the IFCA at the time that put this tournament format together that we all love and enjoy. We had gone through clusters, and yes, it was appropriately named as a cluster, and we'll leave it at that. And then we had a point system and a regional point system and this, that, and the other. They finally settled on this, and the timing could not have been better, and this tournament has never looked better than it did this year.
I know Bob Springer would love to be around to see what his baby has turned into, and he is one of the most respected coaches to ever walk the sidelines of Indiana football at Washington High School. Obviously, we think the world of his son Mike. But again, I'm just excited for him and excited for what the IFCA has done just moving forward in general with the tournament.
I know that the Coaches Association sometimes, I won't say it's a contentious relationship, but they don't always get everything they want the way they want. But I also think, and I'm a firm believer in the fact that the Coaches Associations in this state probably enjoy as good a relationship with a governing body as any is with the relationship that they all enjoy with the IHSAA, because they are all prominent at all of these tournaments. The Volleyball Coaches Association at the state finals in Muncie, they had a big dinner and brought all the teams in and had a big celebration with them. And I think Robert Falcons and company will tell you that they couldn't begin to host a wrestling state finals without the Wrestling Coaches Association, what they do.
The IHSA is incredible. They're always under attack from just because of just how the job they've got to do. The one thing that I will say to them, that if you want to know how great they are, in the year of COVID, all 20 sports played a state championship game. We were the only state in the country to have that done, and the reason why, the great leadership of Paul Neidig and the IHSAA, they are second to none, folks.
And if you remember, I believe that was the first year that Paul Neidig had taken over for Bobby Cox.
Welcome.
Yeah, nice timing. Welcome to the game, brother. I tell you, it was an incredible year, and they had the NCAA, they had the NFL, they had organizations all over the country reaching out to them saying, hey, how'd you pull that off?
Exactly. And again, they took the road less traveled. They put in a great plan. Again, that starts with the vision and leadership that Paul gave the IHSA, and it filtered down to every sport. And I just give them a lot of credit because, again, they catch a lot of heat sometimes. But boy, folks, I wouldn't want to have any other group of people running our sports in our state.
Speaking of legendary coaches in the IFCA, that New Pal group is being orchestrated by a pretty good one who got here a few times, and Bob Gaddis.
Boy, Bob's a dear friend. He did a great job. He was at Evansville Rice, Danville High School, and then Columbus East. But he is a class act and has stayed on as one of our executive directors. And again, why the IFCA is so successful is we hire and have great people running it as well, just like the IHSAA.
Yeah, there's Coach Gaddis right there in the center of your screen, and he's kind of facing the team and walking back and forth and making sure everybody gets in the proper alignment. Now, if you're New Pal, their coaching staff, administrative staff, now Kyle Ralph about ready to get his medal. Let's face it, it's no longer getting here. It's no longer an expectation. I think it's a culture that they built.
When you're here as often as they've been in the last 11 years, it's just something that you just feel like this is something that we will be at. You know, everything that you do in the off season is to be able to come here and play on Thanksgiving weekend. And when you've done it this many times, it's an easy sell.
Yeah, and the work will begin on Monday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy with that off-season conditioning program when your head football coach is guiding that off-season conditioning program.
Well, he does it across, for all 20 sports for New Pal, and he especially a focus on football. But he just brings that confidence to your school and to all of these programs, and I give him a lot of credit.
And again, they've had great coaches there. They've had success in the past. We've shown it to you and talked a little bit about it, but I think everyone can agree with all the success that they had. He has simply taken it to another level.
He has taken it beyond belief. Again, 5 appearances in the last 11 years. That's unheard of. And folks, they've got 10 stars back on defense and multiple guys back on offense. They will have a chance to be back here next year.
And you can bet that the people they will have in those holes will be ready to fill those holes because, again, it's not simply an expectation anymore. It is indeed a culture. And what an impressive culture they have built there.
Well, it's, again, that's a word that's used a lot, but if you really want to understand what it's about, go visit Kyle Ralph. He will talk you through this. He'll walk you through this. You visit guys like Eric Moore, who are good friends with Kyle Ralph. Those guys build programs, and programs win, and they sustain, and they keep moving forward.
Greg Rakestraw, Jared Thomas set to take you through the end of this day, capping off this triple header as Westfield battles Brownsburg, a regular season rematch, and we will see who the 6A champion will be. And then a busy day tomorrow. Join us at 11 o'clock Eastern, the 1A title game. North Judson San Pierre, not been here in a long time. They come in unbeaten against 13-0 Providence. The 3A title game, Lance Shibe and I will have that for you. Fort Wayne Bishop Lures and Heritage Hills. Those teams are perennial powers that have been here plenty. Didn't need a GPS to get here, that's for sure. And we will cap off the 6 games with Warsaw with a record of 10-3 against 10-2 Decatur Central. They're back, hoping to get the big trophy this time in the 5A title game. Kelsey Casper, great job on the sidelines. Great job by our crew. For Lance Shibe, this is Mark James. So long for now from Lucas Oil Stadium. We are going to crown a 6A champion coming up on the IHSAA Champions Network.
In high school,